Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham, and on today's show, we wanted to show you guys some love and answer some questions. So shout out to all the real ones here at Falcons Today who submitted their questions. That's what we're going to do, answer them on a mailbag. So let's go ahead and jump on in here. We got Lil V839 Nicholas V asking a question. Do you think the Falcons defense will step up since Khalil Herbert, is out and be able to stop the Bears' running game, also stop Fields' run game as well? I know they have been terrible at containing mobile quarterbacks as of late. So, obviously in Chicago, no Khalil Herbert as he's on IR with a hip injury now. So, look for the Bears to lean on David Montgomery, who's a 4-year vet. He hasn't been as effective in their new running scheme, just under 4 yards per carry, but he's obviously played a lot of football for Chicago, so he will get a lot of touches, I would imagine. And obviously with what Justin Fields has been able to do as of late, not a ton of volume passing, but the running's been unbelievable. I mean, he's averaging, you see the numbers, almost 130 yards on the ground over the past 3 games. The past 2 games in particular, over 300 yards rushing. Really, really crazy stuff. And like you mentioned, at times the Falcons have struggled against mobile quarterbacks. They're kind of middle of the pack overall against the run. Not too bad, actually. 18th in the NFL, so not terrible there. But look, it's tough to contain Fields right now. I mean, when teams are QB spying him, he's beating the spy. So it'll be very interesting to see what this Falcons defense game plan is to limit that running ability for the Bears quarterback. But no Khalil Herbert certainly makes things a little bit easier for Atlanta. Now, show us some love if you want us to answer more questions in the future. Like this video. If you like this type of content where we take your questions and answer them on the show, hit that like button. And if we get enough likes on today's show, we will do more videos like this in the future. Let's go to Air Comedy TV. Why did the Falcons draft the last 2 first-round picks, pretty much 2 wideouts, in a run-heavy offense? Looking back at this post-draft, we should have gotten a defensive player. I like Drake London, though it's not that. So I think what you're saying is if this is going to be a running team, why did they go receiver with Drake London? I think a couple reasons. One, I don't think Marcus Mariota is a long-term solution here. Eventually, you're going to want a quarterback to air it out, whether that's Desmond Ridder or drafting someone this year like Bryce Young or a guy like Drake May or Caleb Williams in 2024. Eventually, you're going to want to throw the football, and Drake London and Kyle Pitts should be guys that are a part of that. But, yeah, I mean, you could have gone defense and bolstered that side of the unit as well. Obviously, London and Pitts haven't put up crazy numbers this year. Terrell was a great pick a couple of years ago, but I still like Pitts and London as players. I don't know what the deal is with Kyle Pitts this year. I don't know if it's on him. I don't know if it's on the offense. I don't know if it's, scheme. I don't know if it's just Mariota's not a guy that you're going to throw a bunch of yards with. I think London, for the most part, as a rookie, has actually been pretty solid. But I hear what you're saying, but I think long-term, Drake London is going to be a big-time player. Kyle Pitts as well. It's still early, but you could argue the Falcons will have hit on 4 of these 5 picks, and I think that's fine. That's more than acceptable in the NFL draft, which is a crapshoot, even in round 1 sometimes. Now, grade the Falcons' last 5 NFL first-round picks. Scale it 1 to 10, 10 being they've nailed it out of the park, 1 being it's been bad. Give it a 7 or 8, man. Terrell's a stud. Pitts and London, even though they've been up and down at times, they've shown major potential. McGary's been good. So, yeah, I think it's a 7 or 8. I think it's been pretty good. And if you hit on first-round picks, it's going to give you success in the future. You just got to find the quarterback. That's what it comes down to. BetUS, our sponsor here on today's episode of Falcons Today. We certainly appreciate them. And if you want to go make money this season, get an account with BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/BetFalcons and plug in our promo code Falcons125. Atlanta, a slight favorite against Chicago this weekend. If you're feeling good about the Falcons' chances, go bet on them. Chatsports.com/BetFalcons. Promo code is Falcons125. All right, let's go to Marlon Cozy. Do you think that Atlanta's defense will become elite in the next few years? Why can't Atlanta have a consistent pass rush? 1 minute it's dominant, the next they're not. Do you think the coordinator's offense and defense have something to do with the inconsistency? I think more than anything, it's the personnel's not great, right? Like, you have Grady Jarrett, who's a good player, but do you have a lot of guys where you're like, yeah, this should be a top 10 pass rush? I don't think so. I think you need to continue to add there if you are this Falcons front office. I think this coaching staff, for the most part, has done pretty decent this year. I know the last couple of weeks have been frustrating. That Panthers loss is one that you're not happy about. But this team coming into the season was like, oh, this is going to be one of the 2 or 3 worst teams in football. And they've been competitive. They're a few plays here and there away from being at least like 6-4 and in first place in the NFC South. So I like what the staff is doing. You just need better personnel moving forward. Richard Sutton, is it possible for the Falcons to regain their rushing attack while also defending the rush attack that the Bears pose? Yeah, I mean, we obviously talked about the Bears running game earlier. No Khalil Herbert, but Justin Fields, super dangerous running the ball. Obviously, David Montgomery is a capable running back. And for Atlanta, I do expect them to bounce back running the football. Cordell Patterson's been back for a couple games now. Hey, CPAT revenge game going up against the Bears. Who knows? Maybe he goes off this week. You've got other guys in the backfield. Mariota can run. So we know that's the Falcons' identity, running the football. So I would expect them to do that. And the Bears have not been a good running defense this year. So they should be able to run at least at a decent clip this week. Now we're doing a sub battle with our Bears channel this week here on Falcons Today. And it's been a little bit one-sided. So if you want the Falcons to win on Sunday, got to win off the field as well. Hit that sub button. It's youtube.com/FalconsTV, and we'll have you covered throughout the season here at Falcons Today. From Butt Munch, with a projected rebuild and fairly good first-round picks of late, do you believe we have a competent front office? It certainly feels that way. Again, I think the coaching staff is good. I think they've hit on first-round picks. If you get the quarterback, the rest of it will fall into place. I just think that's a big missing ingredient right now. Quarterback and then some pieces on that front four. I think if you get the right quarterback, you've got good players on offense in Pitts and London and Cordell Patterson. If he's going to be here for a couple more years, we'll see what his future looks like. But, yeah, I think if you can get the right gunslinger in Atlanta, this is a team that can compete. All right, shout out RC Plane Builder. He sent in about 7 questions. We couldn't get to all of them, so we kind of narrowed it down to this one. He says, why did we draft a quarterback in the 3rd round if we were not going to use him? So, a couple reasons this could be the case. 1, they think Marcus Mariota gives them the best chance to win. 2, the Falcons surprised themselves by hanging in the playoff hunt, and they've opted to go with the veteran for that reason. But what I will say, as you look at Mariota's numbers, he hasn't been bad, but I think we said it before the season. We've said it throughout. He's not the long-term answer. I'll say this. If Atlanta goes down to the Bears this week and fall to 4-7, I want to see Desmond Ridder. I want to see what Ridder can do because we should see him for the final 6 games as he had a good final season in college last year, leading Cincinnati to the college football playoff. Shouldn't we see a little glimpse of him? Because it's very possible if this season caters that drafting a quarterback in the 1st round is a possibility next year. I want to at least see Desmond Ridder play before the Falcons make that decision. So I'm in the camp of if you lose this Sunday and at 4-7, even in a bad division, Tampa's kind of figured things out a little bit. If they win, get to 6-5 soon, you're not going to win the South probably if that were the case. So you lose this week, I would turn the page to Desmond Ridder for the rest of the season and see if he's a potential franchise quarterback or not. What do you guys think? Should the Falcons sign or start Desmond Ridder, Type 4 for yes, type 1 for no? I would. If they lose this week especially, I would have made the move now, but especially if you go down on Sunday, I would play Desmond Ridder. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you next time here on the channel.